UFC 302 has come and gone, and was it what we expected? Not necessarily. It was pretty meh or bleh or whatever you want to call it, to say the least, especially the friggin' prelims. Decision after decision after decision after decision, and it just seemed to kept going like that. So this is the UFC 302 callouts. I'm going to be grading them, a few of them. I got three that I'm going to be grading, and but let's look at the results to start things off. We'll go to the prelims and we'll share this screen. We've got Andre Lima defeating Mitch Raposo by split decision, a crazy judges scorecard to kick things off. I don't know how that was a split decision. I don't know how Raposo scored one, but it wasn't the first to be scored for the wrong side, or at least what looked to be the wrong side. We then had Eileen Perez defeating Jocelyn Edwards. Edwards was a huge underdog in this fight, and she didn't need to be or didn't seem to be when she was inside the octagon, because she pushed the pace a little bit, especially in that third round, and Eileen Perez ended up getting the unanimous decision. But great fight by these ladies. Basil Hafez defeated Mickey Gall by unanimous decision, 30-27, 30-27, 29-28. I don't understand at all how he got two 30-27s, because Mickey Gall clearly won one of the rounds at least. A few people that I saw on Discord and on Twitter had Mickey Gall winning the entire fight. It was a good fight. Hafez got the job done, but he did not look like he did in his short notice appearance against JDM. So who knows where this puts him. It doesn't necessarily make him move back up the rankings to fight someone like JDM again, but he's got to clearly push the pace a little bit more to move up the rankings. Then moving over to ESPN, Jake Matthews defeats Phil Rowe via unanimous decision. Interesting fight. Phil Rowe was a huge favorite in that one, and he unfortunately fell short. Interesting game plan by Rowe. He was picking Matthews apart from the outside, but Matthews was able to make it dirty and get the job done by unanimous decision. Grant Dawson, the biggest favorite on the card, I believe, other than Islam Makhachev, defeated Joe Selecki. I had him as my lock of the night, and he almost got finished in the first round with a very tight guillotine choke, but he ended up getting the unanimous decision in that fight. And a big one, Jailton Almeida defeats Alexander Romanov by submission rear naked choke, just 2 minutes and 27 seconds into the first round. Great performance by Almeida. Took down the big man and was able to get the rear naked choke. He tried to get it sunk in once. Romanov fought it off, and then he sunk it in clearly and very tightly after that to force the tap. The final prelim, Roman Kopylov defeated Cesar Almeida by split decision. Another interesting scorecard, but yeah, it is what it is. New Jersey, I guess, eh? Now we move over to pay-per-view, and we started off with a decision. Randy Brown defeats Eliseo Zaleski dos Santos, unanimous decision. Nico Price took home the unanimous decision against Alex Morono. That was one of the guys that I said in my underdogs pick. You can't really count Nico Price out of any of these fights. And then we move up to an interesting one. Kevin Holland defeats Michael Oleschuk, however you say that name, by technical submission armbar. Round one, he threw up the armbar after getting taken down, and wow, this guy didn't want to tap, ended up getting his arm snapped, complained about the fact that the referee stopped the fight, but Holland got an amazing performance and got the job done in there. In the co-main event, Sean Strickland defeated Paulo Costa by split decision. Everybody, including Dana White, questioning how the heck that one was a split decision, because Sean Strickland ruled that one from the very beginning of the fight to the very end of the fight, 50-45, very easily on my scorecard. Strickland pushed the pace, pushed himself forward. Costa couldn't really do much damage to him at all. He landed two heavy low kicks to start the fight, and then Strickland just pushed the pace, which he does to all of his opponents, and was able to finish, well, not finish, but was able to get the split decision, I'd say unanimous decision against Paulo Costa. And in the main event, Islam Makhachev defeats Dustin Poirier by submission Darce choke in one of the most beautiful sequences to set up that Darce choke. Beautiful takedown off of a single leg ankle pick and just whipped him down, landed right into the front headlock and landed that Darce choke in round 5. Poirier surprised a lot of people out there, stuffing takedowns, landing some big shots on the feet. It looked like he was going to be turning the tides late in the fight there, landing some shots, but Makhachev just relentless pressure and was able to finish Dustin Poirier. We don't know if that's the end for Dustin Poirier or not. He says he thinks it is. I think we could probably see him make that walk to the cage again, but will we? Who the heck knows? All right. So, as I said, this is grading UFC 302 callouts. Let's start with one of the guys early in the card. We're going to go with Randy Brown. Calls out Jeff Neal. An interesting call out, because if we look at the UFC rankings for welterweight, Jeff Neal is ranked at number 10. Randy Brown is not ranked at all. It's a good call out. Is it a little too high for him? Who the heck knows? Should he take on maybe, say, Kevin Holland, Vicente Luque, Michael Page, Neil Magny, Joaquin Buckley? Possibly, before he moves up to Jeff Neal. But Randy Brown feels like he can beat Jeff Neal. He feels like he can knock out Jeff Neal. Is a good call out, but I think maybe one more before Jeff Neal. So I'm giving this one a B. But it was a good call out. So let's get rid of that letter grade. Let's move on up. Co-main event. Sean Strickland calls out a title shot. Who that's going to be against, who knows? But he's calling for a title shot, and I think he deserves it. He's the number 1 ranked guy in the division. He pushed Paulo Costa as much as he could. Didn't get the finish, but he was able to do what he needed to do and should have earned himself a unanimous decision. So calling for a title shot is really the only thing that makes sense for Sean Strickland. Why would he call for anybody else? He said in the speech when he called for the title shot that he was a company man, and that company man call out will get an A. He said he's a company man because he took on the number 7 ranked guy. He could have waited. He could have literally waited for a title shot. Instead, he took on the number 7 guy to keep himself active and wanted to fight in America, which was wicked. So USA, USA, USA from a Canadian here. And Sean Strickland definitely deserves that title shot. So moving to the main event, Islam Makhachev doesn't want another title shot and doesn't want to defend that title at 155. Instead, he wants to move up to 170, and he said that's his dream. So likely the case. I mean, this guy has beaten guys at 155. He rules the division. He's definitely the number 1 pound-for-pound guy in the world. He's taken out Volk. He's taken out Dustin Poirier now, and he looks to continue to rule at 155, so why not make it 170 as his next performance? And it definitely should be a title shot as the pound-for-pound king. So we give that one an A. Could be an A+, but I think this man deserves the shot at 170 pounds, and he deserves it for the title. That does it for the callouts. Make sure you check out Slappy's Vodka Soda, the best on the market. And as I always say at the end of videos, make sure you like the video. Make sure you comment on the video, maybe with who you think the best callouts were and who you think those guys should get in their next performances. And make sure you subscribe, because I looked at the analytics the other day and about 95% of you guys aren't subscribed that are watching these videos. So that does it for me. UFC 302 has come and gone. Not a great card, but it was fun to watch the pay-per-view. And that's about it. Let me know what you thought of UFC 302, and also let me know what you thought of the call-outs in the comment section below.